Hey folks, back again after a week of not posting. It's about 12:30 a.m. I'm up late. Was gonna go running earlier. I decided to choose the other option that I had, which was to go and put in a job application or two for today. Um, I gotta like do a ton of them each day just to get enough out there so I can actually get a call back from someone. But that all has to do with the topic of the video that I'm gonna uh, the topic that I'm going to be giving this video, which is, and pardon me, but it's embrace the suck. That's what I want to talk about. Um, Not only did I watch a video like yesterday, I believe it was, with this other dude who was talking about just he was kind of building off of one of his other videos, which was talking about like mandatory side jobs for men. You know, he said like two of them, and one of them was like working out, and the other one was like building a side business so you can eventually become financially independent, therefore independent in general, from having to have a day job and that sort of deal. Getting out of the rat race, all that. But his main point was something along the lines of you have to embrace the suck of something like, let's say, working out. Because it's the kind of thing that in the time that you're actually doing that, it's not that enjoyable. It's not that great. Like for instance, like lifting weights, like it's it's something that can be like mind-numbingly boring. It's not really intellectually engaging or exciting, but it's the kind of thing that if you want to get that muscular physique, you're gonna have to do that over an extended period of time, and you're gonna have the discipline, not just the drive, because motivation can drop off within the first 24 hours to a week or so for a lot of these things, but you got to have that discipline to keep on going at it day by day. And you know, this relates to my not only my job search but also the Nofap, no porn stuff lifestyle, because and I think I have like used this sort of expression of like running away from life in past videos, and I think one of the biggest reasons why I've made it so far is that fundamental decision I made back at the beginning of my um, back at the beginning of this streak, which is still ongoing. I mean, I haven't, it's no fap day 90 something or so, going into day 100. Um, and like I said, day 39, no porn subs. But the big decision I made was I wasn't going to run away from life. And it fundamentally changed my way of looking at this, because it went from just like a sort of a challenge or some sort of like, I guess, a way of making myself feel better, into like me making this like decision to turn this corner or turn over this leaf that I hadn't turned over before, and that was to not run away from all the crap in my life. Um, Pardon my language, but I made that fundamental decision that whatever anxieties, sadness, stress I was facing, and I'm facing, I mean, I'm still facing that stuff, day by day. But I was not going to run from it. I wasn't going to go off in my fantasy land where I had all the things that I wanted and was, having amazing sex with an amazing woman and all that kind of stuff, and just getting to get out of the state I was in, because unless I embraced it, I wasn't going to actually have anything real and good at the same time, And it's kind of ironic that I'm doing this video. I was going to talk about this like excuse me, yesterday or the day before yesterday, but things came up, things happened. I had, what was it, yesterday was, well, technically speaking, it's Wednesday now, but on Monday I just had a super busy day. But I saw Off the Train came back and he put up another video, and it's kind of ironic and kind of strange that like I'll be thinking along the same wavelengths as him, but he was talking about, that people using PMO to run away from life. I think it was one of the main things, or one of the main points, like running away from the anxieties and the the underlying issues and the problems they have in their lives using PMO to get away from that. And you know, talking about that as sort of a larger thing than just PMO, you know, alcohol, tobacco, whatever it is people use to get away for a moment. And I think that that change, that's one of the things I believe that, I mean, I've seen it work for myself, and that's one of the things when I give advice or so, or give some sort of perspective on things, it's always based off my own experiences, and so there's a limitation to it, but in terms of its applicability, but that's been I think the fundamental mindset shift that I've gone through and I've had to go through. And when I see that people, you know, failing at Nofap, relapsing, failing at no porn subs, relapsing, you gotta stop running from life. You gotta embrace the suckiness of life, and it's kind of like you're on the side of a mountain, you know. And you can't just like close your eyes and pretend that you're not on the side of a mountain. You're on the side of a mountain, and if you're gonna make it to the top, heck, if you're just gonna not plain and simply baseline, not fall to your death, so to speak, you're gonna have to accept the fact that you're on the side of a mountain, and you got this pickaxe, you got this rope, you know, and you got these hooks and such, and your whole equipment set. You know, you're gonna have to use that. You're gonna have to utilize that and climb up the mountain and you get to the top. Or assuming that you've gone to the top and you're coming back down to get, you know, back to your base camp or so, you're gonna have to utilize that to safely get down to your base camp without falling to your death or getting injured, you know. And as tiring as it may be, as stressful as it may be, it's just what you're gonna have to do, because you know the only other option is what? Failure, you know. And you can fail by trying to succeed. You can fail by just not trying. Period. You can fail 1,001, a million and one ways in life, or in some task. But the big difference between those who succeed and those who fail, in my experience, and that's what I'm seeing, like that I've gotten this far in NoFap, is that I just, for one thing, I didn't give up, and another thing is that probably the bigger thing than that even was that I just embraced that the fact that it's gonna suck. It's gonna suck for a time, at least, and it's gonna suck because I have to go through that. Like sitting here putting in a job application, it's not so much that it just like it was horrible or something. It was like it had its frustrating aspects, its challenging aspects, it's kind of like anxiety inducing aspects, because you know you see like a job description for like, oh, a paid internship, engineering internship, or you see for some job somewhere and you read it and you're like, oh, I'd like this job, you know. It might not be like heaven for me, but it would definitely be nice. You know, the pay rate's nice, the actual what you have to do is interesting, and it's like, you know, it's a job, and I'd have some money coming in. I wouldn't have the stress of how am I going to pay for this, how am I going to pay for that. But then when you go through the whole process of putting through, this is where like kind of like the suckiness comes in. It's not just the looking for the job, but actually getting the job. And so, for instance, this position that I just applied for, I had to go and basically like modify my resume to the point that it would, you know, the person was looking at it within the first like 5 seconds, let's say, of them scanning it through, they see, oh, he's got these qualifications, the things that we're looking for. Then I had to go through making a cover letter, and then on top of that, this is the thing that kind of jumped out at me, because all the other applications I put in, they've said, oh, cover letter, resume, but they haven't asked for a salary history. And I did a salary history for the two most relevant jobs that I also mentioned in my resume, relevant to the position. But you know, it's kind of like going through that, and not just going through that, but the fact is, like, one of the things that I've learned the hard way is that they look for attention to detail, you know. And if you make some slight mistake in there, it could be like the date you put on the cover letter. It could be, you know, some misspelled word. It could be, you know, any of 1,000 things, a million things. You know, that they look at that, and that's a bad sign. That's a red flag that you're not an attention to detail, detail-oriented person. You're not disciplined. You don't pay attention, and like I guess it's the whole idea. Like if you can be detailed enough and focused enough in terms of a cover letter or a resume or a salary history or whatever, what's to say they can trust you with all these other things, And that's been like the stressful, anxiety-inducing turn-off thing for me because I'll be looking at this going, wow, I love this job. It's a paid internship, it's an engineering company. They accept people who major in chemical engineering. They might not be chemical engineers, but it's something that I could put on my resume and I could make the money to pay for school, and I could actually have like something that would look relevant and good for, you know, an engineering student. I mean, I could say I did an engineering internship. But then it gets to that point where it's like, well, that's what you got to do to get that, and that's not comfortable. That sucks in a lot of ways. It's not as like, it's not as sucky as I don't know, being in the military and being in combat and being shot at, and you could very well get killed. It's not that sucky, but it's like the whole sort of run of the mill, I guess, average rat race suckiness, in that sense. And I've had to embrace that. I'm embracing that, and I'm accepting that, at least a little bit at a time. So even if it's one or two job applications per day, by the end of the week I could have 14 in. By the end of the month that would be what, 56 applications in. I do that day by day. I'm gonna get some results somewhere along there, but I gotta go through the suckiness of it, and you know that's just an aspect of life and an aspect of the suck that is in many cases life. And again, I've had to choose to not run away from it, not hide from it, not go off into this little fantasy where I have everything's perfect, and I don't gotta work for it, I don't gotta sweat for it. Like yesterday, I was kind of late, but I went running. I ran 3 miles, and I walked like a bit in between it was like a mile and a half, a little bit of a cool down walk, mile and a half again, and I didn't want to do that, but if I want to get rid of the fat on my belly, I'm gonna have to do that. I'm gonna have to watch what I eat more. Like I've been eating mostly vegetarian. I had a couple meals with meat, but I've cut back on that, not because I'm like ethically against it, but it's a whole health thing, and the controlling of calories and so on. Like if I eat vegetables more, then that's less calories, but it can fill up my belly more and stop me from overeating as much. But again, those are things I have to do if I want to get those results. If I want to get from here, where I have this image in my mind of what I want to look like, what kind of life I want to have, what kind of money I want to be making. If I want to go from here, the mental plane, the mental aspect, the mental, the visualization of my life, to manifesting, changing, conforming with my will in the physical realm, I've got to go through that. And we all have to if we're on this Nofap journey. We really want to be successful, and I think that's the reason why so many relapses, that they, whether it's like their tolerance for the suck, it gets to that point where they can't go any further and they relapse back, or if they just feel certain ways. Like I've had those underlying issues. I still have a lot of them, and you get into that state of feeling crappy and you want to get away from it, and your tolerance for that just isn't there, or you just don't understand why you're feeling like that. Well, that's why I think people relapse. But really, embracing the suck for me has been not only being willing to go through things like this in order to get my job, get a job, get into better shape, that sort of thing, but it's also been embracing the suck of having to talk about and think about and express myself in regards to things that have happened to me in the past, and things that I carry within me and have carried it with me, and I've had to throw that burden off. And those are all aspects of this big concept of just embracing the suck, embracing life, you know? So, I hope I've been organized enough in this video. I'm gonna upload this once I get done, but that's basically what I want to talk about was that whole concept, because I think, and I kind of like gone on through this journey trying to figure out, what the big idea behind it, the big shift in my way of thinking that had to occur in order for me to get somewhere. But if I had to sum up everything from all my previous videos, um, and obviously my journey is not over. I'm still trying to get to that 90 days, and heck, even in a grander sense, your journey is not over until the end of your life. Um, but if I had to sum up everything up until this point, it's been all this struggle to embrace the suckiness of life, And I was using PMO to not have to deal with that, because it felt bad and I didn't like the feeling of it. And I still don't like the feeling of it, but, one fundamental realization I've had is, and I said it a little bit earlier, but just going to emphasize it, this fundamental realization is that I realize that in order for me to get what I want in life, I'm going to have to go through some of these things that I just don't like. I might not like it, but I got to do it, whatever it is, whether it's applying for jobs and being, going through my resume, cover letter, salary history, and being very particular about the details and making sure that everything lines up and is, good to go. Or it's going out running, eventually, getting back into calisthenics, watching what I eat, modifying my study habits, my study schedule, getting disciplined about that. I'm going to have to do that, and we're all going to have to do those sorts of things to get where we want to get in life and to get out of this fapping PMO addiction and not be addicted to anything, to be truly free and to be truly fulfilled. So, again, I hope I have been organized enough and consistent enough and audible enough and what else? And that I've made some sense. So, and all that I've said in this video. So, and my other videos as well. So, yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for taking the time out of your life to watch my videos, and thanks for the likes, the comments, the subscriptions. If these videos do help, go ahead, like the video, comment, subscribe to my channel, and hope it's been helpful. Thanks, folks. Bye.